You got it?
Yeah, you're on there now.
Yeah, look at this guy, the IT wizard.
Wow.
Nice, right?
All right.
Got a sheet?
Ready to go.
Wave to your fan.
Okay, call to order, can we stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Clotworthy?
I'm present.
Ryan, not, let's do the same thing. Do you need to press it? Or does it like mine?
Press it once and then you hold it down the other time.
And then. There you go. And finally.
Never happened.
Councilmember Clotworthy? Here. Councilmember Darrow?
Here.
Councilmember Houchin?
Here.
Councilmember McAdams?
Here.
Councilmember McConnell?
Here.
Councilmember Ostrom?
Here.
Mayor Granstrom?
Here.
This meeting was advertised in accordance with Open Public Meetings Act and complies with all the laws therein. So we have, first order of business, it's open to public. So I need a motion to open to public. Motion. All in favor?
Aye.
We now open to the public, you have with a 5-minute time limit.
How do you state your
Anybody
name?
want to give up their time?
State your name and address.
Okay, my name is Tricia Ann Heiser, and I have a house at 221 South Avenue, right off the Brooklawn Circle. Haven't been there for a while, people. My brother lives there now. Due to the circumstances in his life, he's not too healthy, so he needed a place to live, and he didn't want to go in a senior citizens building. He couldn't handle the seniors. But anyway, I'm here basically to talk about the neighbors on my street. Their trash cans are out for weeks. I've talked to them, and I'm done. So I think something's got. I think if you're all going to take a walkabout, like I did years ago, Marion, Conover, go around town and see a few things. It's going down. I mean, I had that house for 40 some years. I know, and right now my house is going down because I'm not doing what I should. I'm going to tell you that I feel that way. But anyway, I also feel like the easements and the fire lanes, they're not being maintained and they're blocked off. So if you had a real fire between houses, these people took over all this area. Just go around and check it all out. And I've complained about the gas station. They put up a big fence years ago. They're blocking it. There is a little easement between their building and the house in back. And every time they do something in their yard, they don't want it to come through my yard or any other 2 yards. Getting to be, and you can't talk to them. I tried.
Real quick, who can you talk to?
The people at the gas station.
Oh, okay, yep.
You try to talk to them and say, oh, I didn't do that. Didn't come from my yard. Didn't come from the guy next door.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where all this stuff comes from. It comes there. And then I realized my yard, my brother put a lot of stuff back there. So I get rid of it. I understand. Also, the leaves. People are just putting their leaves out in the street. And of course, it's trash too. So it's just sitting there. I mean, I don't know when the street cleaner comes by anymore. I'm not privy to that. But anyway, I just feel like the leaves should be on the state. But your new tenants don't know this because the owners of these houses, I don't know who, different ones that rent out, they don't tell their tenants. When I had houses in Gloucester, I would give them a whole packet every time I changed the tenant. You got to inform them. They got to know what's going on. And apparently, when I talked to them, oh, I didn't know that. They act like I don't know where they came from. I don't know where they lived. Apparently they left their mother's house and just came and they don't know what they're supposed to do. I don't know. Anyway. Let's see. Basically, that's it. I just feel like, I ride around and I just feel like town, the streets, it's not everybody. It just seems like the newer people. And I don't want to put that on them either, but. And the neighbors, what I'm hearing is from a couple of people I do talk to, the neighbors can't talk to the new people. They tell them mind your own business, get off my property, And then when you want to get in touch with the owners, they can't be found, or they're ignorant, or whatever you want to say. They just don't want to deal with it. So, I mean, I think you guys
Primarily, what street is this? Like, what area is this?
come out all over town, huh? I get stopped at ShopRite all the time. Hanovic is really, I don't live there anymore.
They
Talk
just,
to the other people who live there.
okay.
You know, I used to do the whole street like 2 or 3 times a year. I mean,
I don't experience
I'm
this.
crazy, you know, I
That's
do
what
a
I'm
lot.
curious.
But I mean, it just, you know, if you don't see something getting done and you're aggravated, just like a street light out, find out a way to get it going. Take the poll number and call PSE&G.
Yeah. No,
They'll
that's
come
good.
out and do it. People don't do that. You know, I mean, I don't know if the police can, I think they should notice this stuff.
It's a different world. Patty, as you all may know, used to clean the circle
Oh, wow.
You know,
Constantly.
I got
all
told
the
that.
time
The broom and everything.
until gloves and who? Oh, the chief's
No,
not
the
here.
state police, I had
Who
a
got you
I had a
the
state trooper shirt
they
on from my
finally gave her a-
brother-in-law,
vest?
and I got told that, why you working off your tickets? You know, are you a state trooper?
Yeah,
You
I
know,
thought you were
and they
gonna say-
kind of, you know, and then, of course, this is before, everybody, you know, everybody's around.
Patty's been
They're
here
all a lot
long
younger.
time.
Anyway, they did talk to me, a couple of people in the council, I'm not talking, so please be careful. And, you know, do you have insurance? Yeah, I'm quite
Yep.
insured.
I think it's something code enforcement can look at.
Like,
Mhm.
if I could,
Already done. Already taken care of. Already said
there's a
something about-
mold we have made,
Thank you.
and you're part of that mold, and when you're like a Harry mold, we have another guy, Harry, that does what you used to do. But I would say to you, what do you think it's a whole new world out there. What do we do? People are, you know, you came through COVID.
Well, the other thing is what you mentioned, and this is one of the problems I actually brought up to Councilman Algen, is we need like a census on which ones are rentals.
Yeah,
Because some of the
definitely.
stuff we don't, because we had 100 on the list and now I'm down to like 70 something, and that can't be right.
Yeah.
There's gotta be more, like, and then when you go onto the thing and you'll see, like, you know, you can try to look at the tax map, but the taxes go to their regular address. You don't see the names. Like, the only way to do it is go door to door to find out if these people renting, because there is more rentals on there. I have only one on your block. And I guarantee you two or three of them are rentals on your block.
Okay, years ago, I
You
know,
required to come in and register.
we also did it through the school system.
Correct. That was the other way to
And
help
the
out.
big thing was, we actually went over there as a group, went over to the apartments.
Yeah.
Because, and that was to do with the Christmas tree and all that, everything, you know, we had a good group.
Yeah.
And we, you know, but that's how you catch them as far as going to school.
So legally
Yeah.
speaking, they should still be registered on their properties as renters.
Right.
They're not-
Yes.
May I interject?
Mhm.
There is a law on the books today under the Landlord Registration Act, so that if you're a landlord, you have a legal obligation to file a one-page statement with the clerk of that municipality, letting them know that the property is a rental, who to contact in case of an emergency, if the borough were ever to
Mhm.
become aware. Now, whether or not they actually file that statement, again, it's difficult to compel them, but I can tell you that a landlord cannot file a suit for eviction or to collect past dues
Without
unless,
the registration.
unless that statement is filed with the borough. And that's typically when they file.
Yeah, that's when they file a list.
When they know they can't evict their tenant.
I own day properties in Gloucester.
So you're well aware of it.
I've done all that stuff.
Yes.
And, you know, and I realize, you know, it's hard to get somebody out, especially if they have a handicapped child. And, you know, it's, you really, when you get in a rental business, anybody, you really have to know this.
So Brian, is there a typical way that people go about trying to identify those properties? Like what's the most efficient way to try to figure out?
Well, we could do an ordinance that compels it. I mean, it would be somewhat redundant because again.
We have an ordinance already in place that does compel that. But that's the biggest issue is the owners, there's so many people, fly-by-night people up from New York bought like 20 houses here since 2020. And they don't even follow any rules. And it's just like, and we have to catch them. Only one time we catch them is when we find out that the permit pulled or if he goes out to the property and finds something. That's the only time we catch them. If they're quiet, we don't even see it.
I think it would be, a good first step, maybe a clip on the website that all landlords would make reference to the statute, have a firm obligation to file it. Or a borough-wide newsletter, if you put that in.
That's what I had suggested, sending a mailer to every single
Yeah, every
household
house,
and, you know, just a copy of the ordinance, if you pay tenant or landlord, you know, because the tenants are the ones that's gonna get it.
Yes.
And, you know,
And then let
you
them know that
can't
they're
pay
right.
rent without a landlord registration, like something to motivate the tenant to notify the landlord. And at the end of the day, it's gonna be their rent.
Well, let's work on that, that's separately, and that's not what we're discussing here, but most,
Yeah.
the part
But I
of
also
it.
had drafted a kind of a ordinance with column 2 with some sort of fines and penalties if the landlord is found to
Mhm.
not be in compliance, to
Yeah,
motivate
yeah.
them out to stay in compliance. You know, not just pay 3 years and then disappear for 5 years and then come back for a year.
That's fine. Whatever you wanna do.
The thing is, the police too, can like, I mean, these people don't register a car anymore. So they let them go past the time and they're living there. You know, they're going in and out of the house. And I'm just saying, say if they're from Philly, they're here, or they're from down south and they're here.
The
You
other
know,
thing, we used to, our public works or trash guys keeps on that, used to keep an eye out on, you know, they'd see cars, fencing tags, Virginia tags every day or every trash day. Mike, you might want to have a safety meeting with your guys and spot anything like that, you know? I know too, houses, I have personal, people talk to me about it, they said, I got a different tenant next to me. Where? And I already talked to Missy about it, but, yeah, they rent, it's a rental, but then there's different, now, each rental has to be inspected, right? CO?
The only fact, every
That's,
time we
that's
change
not
it-
happening either, so.
change
my
it,
mom will let you know, my brother lives in my house for free. He can't afford to pay it. He's
You're the landlord, right?
not for him. I'm the sucker.
Technically, she's
I'm the sucker. I got him when my mother died.
Thank you, Ms. Hodges.
You know, so anyway, but I don't know if you've been at my house when you broke into my brother's car and did a heck of a number. And the same night, I happened to get a screw in my new tire somehow. We kind of know who did it, we're only sure, but we can't prove it. Somebody was in jail and we wouldn't help them out, and somebody in the family. And I guess they figured, well, we'll get you when we get out, and they did. A couple days later, we both were having problems. And I guess we'll keep up.
All right, thank you, Pat.
Thank
Okay,
you.
guys, good luck with everything. God bless you all. And you're not the only place I went. I also went Gloucester and down Shore and Wildwood. I'm having issues down there. That's another thing. I'll hit you all.
Still have your best?
For sure.
Okay.
I don't have
I
to-
don't want to start another
I
discussion.
don't have time anymore.
All right, thank you, Pat.
Okay.
So,
Need a motion to close to the public. Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Moving along, to be going on what's gonna be on the next agenda. We have 4 ordinances that we, are gonna be up for adoption. Without salary ordinance, the coal ordinance, the vehicle ordinance, they'll all be up for adoption. So if anybody has any questions on that, we should be good already on that, right? The next one we have is the bond ordinance. So we have a couple things that have come up with, we should discuss here. One is stormwater management. It's like a mandatory thing that we need, street sweeper, because of a lot of the stormwater management, like a lot of the debris is getting into the drains and stuff like that, and we gotta follow a guideline from the state of New Jersey that we be compliant by the end of 2026. So everybody had to get a street sweeper. We can buy one. Our street sweeper is not working very well. It breaks down constantly. It will be a backup, but we need to buy a brand new one, which is gonna cost about $390,000. That's the lowest price we found, and it's split between the Borough of Brooklawn and Westville.
So we'll split the cost.
Yeah, it'll be $200,000 cost to us. It is unfortunate, but it's a mandatory thing for stormwater management, and we have to come up with a plan. We do think that we can do once every other week, the whole town.
Right, I was
based
gonna
on-
say, if we get it, are we
Well,
gonna use it?
that we have to. It's almost, it's a mandatory thing, so, we're gonna try to figure out that. I think I talked to Marty. Did you talk to Marty about that too?
We briefly discussed it, yeah.
So,
Why is this a thing, Ron?
according to stormwater, you can explain the stormwater management.
Stormwater management, from the NJD, they just requires you to, if you have a certain amount of inlets, and how big your town is, there's like a rubric that they use to design whether you need wood or not, and we meet that criteria.
Just so things don't get into the water, is that the idea?
Yeah, just to kind of reduce on pollutants, you know, not that there, I mean, they put mandates in all the time, cleaning storm drain basins, catch basins, the top of them. We had to put slats in bars so can't piles get in. Although the county, the state don't have to abide by this,
Yeah.
the municipality, which we have we've been doing since these rules came out. And even before, we've had this, our street sweeper 2010.
Yeah, we had it for a long time. I know we bought it used.
That one was brand new.
That was brand
Yeah,
new?
ours was brand new.
Now, can
I
our
don't remember that at all.
trade-in or a sale?
I mean, you
Craigslist
could go
or
on GovDeal to try to get something used and stuff like that, but.
I recommend not purchasing a used street.
I mean, for ours here, can we get rid of it?
Yeah, pennies on a dollar, kind of get rid of it, but, you know, we do have other municipalities. What I suggested, mayor and council kind of take into consideration is we have some other municipalities besides Westville and Brooklawn who will share this piece of equipment or apparatus to maybe charge a fee if we go and use them. One, maybe, you know, we'll let Gloucester use it if they have a parade or something like this, but maybe we can write something into the ordinance that we could send over a worker. That way, you know.
Like we did Audubon Park a couple times.
Yeah.
a couple
And I'm not
years ago.
saying it happens on the
We
regular,
parked
but, you know,
Rent the new one?
no, like the new one. Yeah, like we would go over, like if I ever had Belmar, like when ours was down, I would call Belmar in, Joe would do it for nothing, but they do have a scheduled fee for it.
Could we go the reverse way and rent? Could we rent from Belmar when we need to do it? That way we don't get purchase.
I know, I could check, but I know he's inundated with.
Right.
Depending on what
Their street sweepers out every day. They have a guy that just drives a street sweeper just for their town. And they have a pretty big town.
Right.
Yeah.
Should we just say if that's an option or what that money will be?
No, I just have a question. You're saying that we have to buy one. And we're shared service with Westville and Gloucester now, right? In a sense.
No, well, Brooklawn and Westville were shared service for DPW.
Yeah, we share service for other things.
So I'm saying, can we share, like you're saying we have to purchase one?
I mean, we were gonna share, what we were gonna buy recently with Gloucester, it was gonna be Gloucester, Brooklawn, and Westville, was something we were gonna buy.
I think it was a valve operating mechanism for the.
Yeah.
Valve.
The jet thing, was that with the jet
Yeah.
thing? Yeah, so, I mean, we could, theoretically, but Gloucester won't need our,
No, but we need theirs, is what I'm saying. Now, other question.
you can
Do
rent.
are we responsible for Borough?
No, but we do it anyway because that's what mayor and council wants to do, which we have no problem with. It's just, it's always, since I operated the first street sweeper that was ever bought by the municipality when I first came here, we always did Broadway. It's a county road, but we always did Broadway, always.
I mean, roadway's hurting. It's caving in on Warren Road. They're not fixing it.
I've touched base with, the county, called it in, they came out and looked at it, he agreed that it needed to be fixed. What happens from there happens from there, I mean, I could push the issue again, but
Maybe we can get some letters out there.
I don't even think it's not gonna take a letter, I'll just make another phone call.
Well,
do it
yeah, I mean, it needs to be done.
Oh.
You go there at 25 miles an hour, you're gonna flip a car. That's how bad that is.
Yeah, I already, the day after we spoke in council, I called it in, and their driver called me when he was on site looking.
Right, because I've never seen a street sweeper on Broadway, county wise, ever. Not even in a circle,
Wait,
all the silk, all of
us or them?
them.
Maybe once or twice a year.
No, I've never seen them.
Well, you're not mandated to do it, but maybe 3 times a year.
They're mandated to do it on a state highway when you have construction and they're not supposed to be daily. You can't do a construction site in New Jersey without keeping the streets clean.
Well, that's why they're supposed to have contractors fill that up.
What's our mandate, Ryan, so we have to have a plan going on this, what's the mandate of health, does Brooklyn need to do it?
I don't know how many, I don't know what the offer is.
It's not a ton, but let's just get to the fact, like, if you're trying to look at like, okay, then maybe we can rent, or maybe we can have another town do it. The fact is, we've always had a street sweeper. It's good to have a street sweeper, you know. There's a lot of debris and things like that around the neighborhood, especially from somebody that used to sweep all the time. You know, we do get a lot of material. You know, we have to also take into consideration where we're gonna dump. Right now, I still have a open contract or shared service agreement with the Borough of Belmar to dump our sweepings in there. And what I've worked out on the backside is that we'll take a triaxle of their material once a year and pay for it out of our pocket. Which is,
Where would you store it? Would you store it down at?
we can't, all of our storage areas are completely gone.
No, I mean, you're gonna take a triaxle down. You said.
We just dump it, we take it right there. We pay for them to take it to the dump. So we store our materials in their yard. Yep.
That's okay.
And then we pay for a whole triaxle, like they dump 10 triaxles a year, we pay for one whole triaxle. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose, but it's negligible.
Well, Ryan, I have a quick question with that too. Especially on my street, we only have 2 cars, maybe 3 cars on my street. But still, no one ever knows when street cleaners come through, so they miss the curb line all the time. There's always a car, 1 or 2 cars out there. So what we have to do is, we have to come up with a plan, and I thought about this last year when I was on the streets, to have, once we designate a day, okay, we'll say the first of the month, whatever you want to call it, and at almost every street in town, parking on one side. Well, that one day, you have to park on the other side of the street.
We get ticketed.
Yeah, you understand, and, I mean, and you have no choice but ticket people. We ventured it, but there's no sense having a street cleaner if we can't clean the streets.
Right.
Cleaning the center does no good. You know, that's all we're doing with half of them. Mike, you guys done a great job, but you can't do anything when we're parked in front of you.
Parking is a completely different issue. To have someone to do that on the west side of town, absolutely impossible. It's not gonna happen. To do it on this side of town, maybe the number streets, yeah, maybe. Also, and then being the public works director, trying to find like, and I'm not saying we're overworked or under any of that. I'm just saying we're doing a multitude of different things. Like it's not just a regimented service, and this is what we do every single day. There's multiple things that come up on our plate every day. So to have somebody, we might want to hire somebody to do the street sweepings, like or come in. Yeah.
No, but that's, but I
But
understand.
if you want to do something like that, but to get to move these cars, now when we go out and do it, we're gonna we're gonna be mandated these cars move. We're gonna have our officers ticket these people.
Yeah, that's my basic.
Maybe if we were
You gotta follow.
consistent with the day, like you said, the second
Start with
Monday
that
of the month,
first.
it would catch on. But we have to
It
be
would.
consistent with it.
And Trish, like that, since there's
'Cause I'm a
always one side of the
big
street's
fan of
open
the
right now.
street
We'll take Bergen's, the guy's way over here, okay? There's one side open.
No.
Clean that side the first Monday, so on the second Monday, don't you have to report? That's the only way I see it.
No,
Never do it, because
I
where I
really
live,
agree
there's no
with that.
cars except when there's street, and we get another street cleaner.
You put signs, and then you follow up and you take it.
Yeah, okay.
And
Okay,
the
that's
next
just-
ones, I guarantee it won't be.
The only problem with that is if you park on the other side, you can't get down the middle of the road.
No.
If somebody like, somebody starts at 10 o'clock at night and they don't have to be off until 9 in the morning, it just wouldn't work. That would be a logistical nightmare.
I did,
Maybe the next committee. can talk about
McAdams
that.
was like, yeah, I know, the McAdams, like, if you move on one side, you can't go in the middle.
there should be no middle, we're talking about the curb lines more than anything
I
else.
understand that, but like, if somebody like wants to park, I'll park this side because I'm not getting up at night. I got home at 10 o'clock at night. You park on the right side, and then the left side's all people there, they have to pay 9 AM.
You got to adjust, I mean, in Boston City, they do.
No, I agree, you gotta adjust.
In Brooklyn, we have a
You
tendency
just
to
don't park.
cater to everybody.
Put a sign,
Unfortunately, we can't
take
cater to
part.
everybody, this is the way it is, black and white,
We're being too nice, that's what we're doing. We're too nice to everybody, that's the problem.
That's what I'm saying, Skip, we just can't cater to everybody.
No, and we are. If you wanna try something, you try it.
Well,
But you can't
we'll
say,
have a committee together to decide that, it doesn't decide it today.
no.
My thing is, a street sweeper is something that we need. I mean, I can certainly look at used ones, but I don't recommend that. And, renting, you're gonna see if you can get prices on renting one.
But you want me to look into getting a shared service agreement with the other municipalities in order for them to come over here?
Yeah, because we just got 4 reasons why not to buy one, because we can't do certain things in this town. We can't go down one side, we can't do.
Well, they're
I'm just saying,
been
yeah.
a useful piece of equipment.
I'm just saying, you got, $200 and some thousand, and you can't do,
Well,
it
You
doesn't
can,
make sense.
yeah, we can.
So, yeah, put the committee,
Find out how many times we have to do it a year, like basically, like, at least once a month or twice, or.
Most towns
You
do
guys
it
are
every
both
week.
sides, so it's gonna take probably 2 days worth of, street sweeping minimum, right?
So the beginning of the year, you're looking at, I would say, 2.5 days to do the east and west side altogether, maybe just say 3 days to do the east side, west side altogether. And then you could do once a month and clean the east side, west side in one shot, in one day.
Mhm. After you get the first initial.
If you do the first, let's just say you do that twice. So the first week, you're 3 days, the second week, you're 3 days because of parking issues and things like that. Then once a month, you're doing the whole town.
All right, well, see if we can talk to Belmar, see if we can, see what they would, charge us for rent for, in Gloucester City. If they even can, have the time to do it.
Can I ask a question? Do you start cleanup day? In town?
Pardon me?
See, Gloucester does that twice a year. And you.
We're gonna try and bring it back, actually. That was discussion for next month, though.
Oh, okay.
Well, Patty, real quick, that's also a fundraiser for Gloucester City. All the youth groups get $500.
Yeah, I know that.
That's a lot of people don't
It's a
realize that.
grant, it's a grant.
Oh, I-
Apply for grant. Okay.
All right.
I'll come next month.
Continue here.
All right, so we're gonna look into the street sweeper. We have about $150,000 I need to add to the Third Street to finish that, to go out to bid for Third Street project. So we have to put money for that. And I'm recommending, I would like to do 150 for property maintenance for Borough homes. We have one property that needs complete rehab, especially, and then when, if, we're gonna go after grants and stuff like that, but in the meantime, at least we get something started. And then if we get grants, it'd be great. If not, at least we have some money in there just to try to fix up some of these homes on the bigger side. We got a lot of the big projects done over the years, like got new kitchens in a lot of properties, but we need, like, for when, there's only a couple houses, I think, that if any, they moved out, that we need a complete rehab. One of them did happen. So, there's like 3 others after that, but I don't know how long they're gonna be there, so. So I would recommend 100 to 150,000 for that. I don't know, what do you think,
Fair for that unit.
for the unit? And with the increases in the rental, we're probably gonna offset some of that revenue that we'll be generating in the budget. We need to generate $10,000 minimum just to cover that debt a year for 10 years. The note, I think we can do that just in raising the rents that we're looking to raise. I think it was just on your modest one that you did was 18 grand.
Mhm.
So, so it's not out of realm that we can't put a little bit extra money into our Borough homes and try to get them up to speed, up to thing, so.
Brian,
Okay.
may I ask, when you say borough homes, are these part of the affordable housing obligation?
No, we have 5 of them that are affordable housing that we got from HUD, that we got grants from HUD,
Okay.
that we follow the rules on them. Those houses have been renovated over the last 7 years, so we don't even touch them. And they are income qualified homes to live in there. But the other 25 that we have, we own 30 homes.
Yeah.
They were gifted us in 1950, 130 or 150 homes were gifted to the Borough of Brooklawn back in 1950 something. We sold many homes over the years to people, but we still have 30 houses that the borough owns. And we collect rent from, we're actually a property management board.
Okay.
Yeah, you're learning, you're gonna be, it's very unique, we don't have that many.
Very, very unique.
So the affordable sharing, and you just talked about that ordinance I sent back to you, and I said, hey, this should be discussed, definitely needs to be discussed with them. Because you have to go yay or nay with that, and I think that deadline passed, it was 2-1.
He knows, I gave him,
Okay,
information about the affordable housing thing,
yeah,
and, I don't know how to address it. Like he said, you can look into it, and,
okay,
he can let you know on that. I don't
Okay.
know enough about that, so. We never had when it came up last time, we were never doing development to say, we want to opt in, no one's gonna come sue here, because for the affordable housing, so
yeah,
it's not like a Mount Laurel situation, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So, anyway, so that's the Borough homes, and the last one, which would hit the water side, we have the opportunity, we talked about a pole barn in the, for the water plant, for the new treatment, gas filtration system. All said and done, it's about $200,000, that would include installation and, the building of it, and it's gonna be a bigger pole barn than what we discussed, with like 30 grand, like last time we talked. But this one will go over top. expand over to the other side of the parking lot, so you wouldn't be able to drive through anymore, but it would have two double doors, to be able to put a vehicle in there, two sides, and it might have a little small area in the back that we can actually create an office, that we can maybe get him an office or some sort down there, but most likely won't be, but we at least try.
I'm never gonna get it.
You don't need it.
Yeah. So that would be on the water side. I think we owe about $190,000 more, and I think I have 300 grand in the line. So I don't have to borrow the full 200, but I'll get a better number, to authorize that, if everybody's okay, and I'll see if we're good on the money. And hopefully we can get the money from the federal government, because I don't know what they're doing with that.
It's worthwhile to just do this bigger than we need to, because what's your opinion on that?
I think, what do we talk about? What, go ahead, yeah, you can go.
Storage vehicle, like we have an extra vehicle inside with a plow ready, rather than leaving another one outside, more room for our trailers, chemicals. You've been in our water plant,
Sorry.
not even the storage of chemicals, like chlorine in there, it smells like the YMCA. Our guys have to breathe that in every single day, we have no other choice, so if I'd be able to store that stuff elsewhere, also, it's like, and one of the things, like, let's say my guy forgets to tell me there's chemicals, like, we only have so much space to store them, here I can store extra chemicals, and we're not getting behind the 8 ball with ordering if somebody forgot. So, there's a multitude of good reasons on why it should be bigger and larger with it.
Cool.
You know, after we had that meeting out there and stuff like that, we expanded, even though, remember we talked about the thing, this was span across the entire road to the other unit.
Like, we're
The other building that
we're
day.
storing stuff for the water plant, like, that should be at the plant, at the pole barn. So when we need it, we gotta go down there, and bring it back up here.
So it would, okay, yeah.
It would definitely,
That seems like a good
it's
bet.
not just because we can.
Yeah, no, it seems like a good bet.
So I highly recommend that. So if everybody's okay with that, I can keep the sweeper off of it for now, because we order sweepers a year out anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. It takes about 12 months, according to them, they said it would be here January of next year. If we order through Sourcewell, which we're a part of in Westville. Westville has to order it. So so we can hold off on that part if you want, but I would like to put the bond ordinance on with the other items. Does anybody have anything that they wanted to add?
Just, do we have the potential that Solvay would be reimbursing as part of that, as just part of the actual
We hope,
project?
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
One of the
Like,
things mentioned in the survey, and actually we text each other on the side, was building.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
That's part of that.
Yeah, it
it
actually
was,
was in there.
it was like
So
the,
we
it was
can
like
actually
the
add that to
second
that.
or third bullet point you mentioned.
Okay.
Was buildings and storage.
That's a good point.
And they actually, whenever they come down, they're supposed to give us a calculation when they come here. And if that's not on that building that we just get built, we're gonna make sure it's on there.
Yeah, so we have the ability
Make
to,
sure it's
like,
part of that.
yeah, they're gonna give us, they'll give us a total number on what they think that we should have out of that survey pot, that pot of money. If we can prove to them, like, hey, listen, we put this, and this in here, they'll be like, they might be like, okay, we can give you half of that, or we can just give you the whole thing.
Well, that we had to.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, we had to.
Yeah,
I mean,
like, yeah, it wasn't, we just did it because we did it.
Yeah.
Did it because it was.
I mean, even the people who wanna have it outside are having trouble. Like,
Yeah.
the city's having trouble with theirs, and it's outside. Especially when the temperature drops. Like this. So,
Ron, with respect to the street sweeping, well, I can see on the DEP's website, it's a minimum of 3 times a year.
3 times a year.
It's not much, like even the cleaning of the basins is like once a year, like just the top, and 3 years for inside. We are way above and beyond that.
Yeah. So,
But I'm sure, as always, mayor and council would want our streets swept more than 3 times.
well,
a year.
that's what I'm saying. If we can rent it, then we'll just let Westville do what they gotta figure out how to do theirs.
I already sent an email to CC you and you on.
From what I'm hearing, obviously, the new one will be 600,000 and up.
No, like
No.
390, 400,000.
They're 400 grand, it was 390, so 200 would be there, 200 would be that way.
I like this, you sure this is a good guy, I like his back.
Well, no, the one we priced out in Woodbury Heights is actually,
Oh, they can get, yeah, they can get, I'm not.
but from what I'm hearing is not every municipality is gonna buy one, most likely, because again, it's only 3 times a year. they'll have shared service arrangement.
Now, what I see.
How much they're gonna charge is a big deal.
And I'm just saying this to mayor and council from having to run a street sweeper for a considerable amount of years. The more municipalities you share it with, the worse off the piece of equipment. They're highly sensitive. They're not, I mean, it can be used, but they definitely do take a special hand and need to be cleaned and. So I suggest not splitting this thing between 17 towns.
If they do it, know that then it's their problem, you know, I think that's the idea.
Who's to prove, yeah, right, who's to prove that they did it, we let, you know what I'm saying? I'm just-
I mean, if they own it, it's like, it's like rent a center, you know what I mean, like, we use their stuff, burn, toast in it, just give it back to them.
Right.
You know? Yeah, that's a good move. Yeah, I guess we could see how that works. Obviously, would like it done more, but, you know, if it's not feasible for the short term.
Okay. On that one. The next one is, we have an ordinances that were submitted, by, Councilmember McAdams, regulating front yards and, road verges and regulation of the use of, public parks and gazebo. Our new solicitor will be drafting these type of ordinances, so if you want to explain what they are.
Yeah, so the regulating the front yards comes from, we have residents that are putting in astroturf in their front yard. They're digging up the grass and putting turf in, which, mind you, hurts with water runoff, all the obviously things they're doing with that, and then obviously the appeal of it, because they obviously fade very quickly over
It's not
time.
even astroturf, it's green carpet.
Yeah.
Not astro, it's not
Okay,
even,
yeah,
it's
not
not
even
even astroturf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plant, pre-plant,
Yeah.
I don't know. But they're putting literally in the front yard, the whole front yard. So in my opinion, to stop that, we need some kind of ordinance in there. I think I've seen at least 4 of them happening, as well as on the actual verge, which isn't even their property. It's not even their property. So that's something that's kind of a no-brainer. And then
I apologize.
Yeah.
What do you mean by verge?
The easement between the little piece of grass between the sidewalk and the street.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we call it a berm or, yeah.
Like the planning strip.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And then I had 4 or 5 residents came to me, which kind of coincides with the same issue, that on the verge or whatever you want to call that, people are putting like large lanterns out there to stop people from parking there, because then when they open their door, they can't get out at that side. So now residents are utilizing that as a parking space to put planters out on the verge, and in that way, people can't park in front of their house, which is obviously an issue.
I think genius. I'm like, that's a genius thing. I didn't even think of that.
That is pretty smart,
Yeah.
I put no fire hydrant in front of mine.
So like those, they kind of coincide with one another. So if we can attack the same thing, so the banning of turf or plastic, whatever, artificial surface, synthetic surface in the front yard is the first part of that. And then I don't know how, I put it in the ordinance, I sent it over, but like any kind of planters, and there's a bunch of different items that might go out there, eliminating anything of that on the verge out there to eliminate that second problem. And Ryan, I sent it over to you, if you could shoot that over.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that
We
while
can
we're
discuss
talking
that.
too.
Now, Colin, have
yeah.
they already put it out there, like, have they already done green carbon stuff?
Yeah, so
I wonder if
in that,
it would be retroactive.
yeah, so in the ordinance, unless everybody feels differently, I was like, besides the flower pots out there, I think that has to move. I guess you would be grandfathered in with the, I'm not trying to make people pay a ton of money to dig it back up and do what they need to do. I mean, if they take it out, maybe it'll be next time you can't put another one in.
Yeah.
Might be a day in an ordinance, but I don't wanna like charge somebody necessarily have to rip it back out.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
that's verge is actually not their property, right?
No,
The verge is.
yes.
Property
Not,
lines usually
not on
10
the
feet
property
beyond.
line,
Yeah,
it's owned by,
not-
it's owned by the municipality, but they're
Well,
responsible under municipal ordinance to
Hold on.
maintain.
Be careful, because some property lines actually go to the center of the street.
Wow.
Yeah, there's none
No,
of
ours,
them that I
ours
know.
go right, most of
I've
ours go
surveyed them.
right to the sidewalk.
So
Most of our
my
property.
point is, in some verges, you have telephone poles, so that's definitely not property, right? You have a telephone pole on a verge or a strip. That's not someone's property that a telephone pole is on, right?
Most likely that would be consumed within the right of way.
Correct.
So the right of way, if it's 50 feet, the paved portion may only be 30 and then an extra 10 on either side. But
That's
again,
what,
Oh, I
That's what
see. You
majority
mean
of ours-
splitting property lines, you mean? Instead of being like, another one, I'm looking at a strip next to a sidewalk. You have trees, you have signages are in there. I was always told that maybe their sidewalk is their responsibility, but not that strict.
Well, to be crystal clear, it actually depends on the ordinance.
Yeah,
In our borough ordinance, it is the homeowners, tenants, whoever's staying in that house, responsibility to maintain the easement and the gutter line. Plain and simple.
Because there's issues at the sewer clean out. In other words, is within the verge, who's responsible?
Fire hydrant and everything. You have to maintain the front of your property, including
What's that?
what we call the
You
easement.
know?
But they don't own it, correct?
They do not own it. I would say 99% of the property lines in this municipality
Everyone in
stop
Brooklawn,
at the sidewalk. But your job is to maintain the sidewalk, same thing when it snows.
Yep.
You have to maintain your sidewalk and you have to maintain the easement between the curb and the sidewalk and also the gutter line, which is where the asphalt meets the curb line. That little gutter line in there.
Wait a minute, you're talking about where everybody lets the grass grow?
Yeah, that's your
So why can't we
responsibility.
enforce that?
that's the municipal property when you have to speak. People have to maintain up to the curb face back. She's talking about out in the street.
Where the street butts up against the curb.
Yeah,
All the grass that always grows out of there, that's your responsibility as a homeowner to maintain. It's in the ordinance.
why did, I
That's
never
in
seen
the
it.
ordinance.
That's for property line, I know it's not.
It's in the ordinance.
Okay. So, can I get a copy of that ordinance? I wanna look at that ordinance. I believe what you're saying, but,
It's on the street sidewalks and, what's called ordinance, right?
Yeah, if we take it out of the ordinance, that
so,
should be.
so wait a minute, now the curb, what about the curb? They're up, you're saying up to the street, so if something happens to the curb,
So,
now, then what?
what do you mean if something happens to the curb?
I'm just saying, we're all the way out in the street cleaning. That's, why would you have a street cleaner if everybody's responsible for clearing that area? There's been,
Because it's your job to maintain the front of your home, that's just what it is. You won't want.
maintaining the street, right?
No, it's maintaining your gutter line. I mean, take it out of the ordinance.
No, I'd like to see
Ordinance
that.
are-
I'd like to see that.
Don't take it out.
Trish, no, I'm not going to take it out, but we gotta enforce it too, and we obviously have not been enforcing it.
We, went through last year and wrote a bunch of ordinance violations against them, and they were done.
124-17 made its
I
responsibility.
mean, they did.
Yeah,
And
100%.
at his own cost and expense shall at all times keep and maintain his
I got
sidewalk,
that one
driveway,
passed.
apron, and curb in good condition.
That's amazing, yeah, okay. That's
Always
amazing.
been there.
Is that the same in all towns?
Yeah,
Huh? Every town's different, yeah, especially Brooklyn, yeah.
But if you were to remove that ordinance, Public Works would be, we would have to hire a guy just to do curb lines all day long, everywhere.
You already got it.
No, but
You don't need it.
So the idea of the ordinance would be the turf, eliminating that in the front, verge, you can't place anything out there.
Yeah.
It's kind of the idea, and then we can review the
Hey,
ordinance.
wait,
once a year.
Well, I sent them
They
the
gotta
ordinance,
maintain it.
and we'll have it drafted for our next council meeting.
You gotta maintain it.
I don't know if it's an ad or.
Yeah, it's not their property,
On
yeah.
chapter, I don't know what would be the best.
Okay.
And then the second one, which we're gonna get together with the redevelopment committee down at the waterfront. But I want to kind of be proactive on this.
Chapter 121.
124.
124.
Guys,
We'll take a look, I'll help you out, whatever you think will be best.
So the second one,
17.
17. Go ahead, Colin.
Very good.
Colin has something to say.
No, he's doing the other one.
No, he's got something.
so the second one is the regulating of the gazebo. So we talked about last year with people that were throwing parties down there and things like that and not cleaning up or whatever else. So we looked at a couple of different towns and what they're doing. So within that ordinance, it says, roughly speaking, parties and gatherings and things like that, they need a permit for. Yeah, they would come into here, they would grab a permit for that. I think it was in the ordinance, we could look at it, it was $50 per permit, and then you put down a $25 fee for a security deposit. Security deposit, place that down as well. Those are both waived for residents, so any resident wouldn't have to pay that, but they would have to still come in and still have that permit. So that's a way we can regulate that, so we don't have chaos.
How will we enforce that to, like, somebody that goes down there to, and there's somebody already sitting in there, like, will they just be able to get kicked
They
off?
have-
Like,
Included.
In that ordinance has to be placed in 2 weeks in advance of whatever event that you're having in there. So if somebody's in your time, so I mean, somebody booked it.
Is there not a request for that?
no, people are just going down there and using it at their pleasure. And last year we had people backing their cars up on the grass and dropping off tables and having barbecues, and it was chaos down there.
Swimming, swim down there,
Swimming in the water.
washing
Yeah,
their clothes.
Really?
so we've had major issues down there. So this should be able to regulate, and it's been out of town people. It hasn't really been any residents that I've come in contact with. So this would force them to obviously get the permit. We would approve or disapprove, obviously, of whatever the event might be. It also brings in obviously some extra money, but we have people leaving trash down there and things like that, and the gender reveals and shooting stuff all off down there and just leaving it all over. So it's a way for us to be proactive and regulating this. So I want it going in before the springtime, so we're ahead of the game.
Is this within a park?
Alice Costello.
This is at the end of
Is there a separate ordinance for park and?
There is, yeah, like banning of grills and all that kind of stuff, tents and, yeah, that's all.
And by the way,
This would just be specific towards that building.
since we, put them signs up, no parking at night, like most towns and all, they're beautiful. With the exception we had the other night, they had a kayaker, right? You want to talk about?
Yeah, the officers got, they did a routine property check down there at 9 PM, no parking. They were down there enforcing it, guy was kayaking, he was wanted for arrest, and the arrest was
They
made.
warrant.
Wow.
They arrested him.
I don't think I'd kayak if I had a warrant.
In the door.
Yeah, that's kind of-
Maybe he was trying to get away. I don't.
Yeah, and we have one last area down there that we're gonna try to address, which is that empty space that's in front of that well house, which is where everybody goes, but now they're not gonna park there and park. There is a no parking sign there, so I think we can still enforce that area. But I talked with Mike, we're gonna get that area lined as well. Get lined off, can't park here, we're gonna put up another sign, let them know it's under surveillance of that camera, whatever, to give you guys more leverage down there. But it is already an ordinance, they can't park in that area, so, you know.
Yeah, the signage just helped with enforcing and.
Yeah.
It's been great.
Yeah.
Really, it's been good.
Now, Colin, for the, the new gazebo area and things like that. So what's your thoughts on the communication of when the police can enforce it now? Like, how will they know that it's been reserved?
They would just, I mean, if they had a complaint, so a complaint had happened, and I put on the sign, you can call the, a non-emergency number, but if they had a complaint called, we got a party going on there, all they gotta do is call the borough, hey, is there a permit pulled for today? No? Cool, get them out, fine them, and then.
We've had some pop-up shops with people selling Eagles gear, not
Yeah.
pulling a permit, Route 130 and Brown, and just, again, a complaint comes, we come and move them along.
If it's like a Friday, Saturday night, I mean, would we give permits out on those nights? Because there wouldn't be anybody to answer the phone.
Friday, we're open Friday here.
Late?
They would have to have that permit in 2 weeks in advance, is what the ordinance is going to read. It'll be 2 weeks in advance, so then they would have kind of advance notice, and we could have Todd, hey, this week we have 3 events down here, and inform them of what they are, so they know in advance. Just a clear communication.
And once we get the ordinance, we have to put a sign down there with the ordinance number and
Have
everything.
that,
to say that.
like, all right,
They can notify me as well.
Yep.
With that,
Yep.
so, because we're in constant contact all the time with this kind of stuff.
and I put the signage in the mic, so he's getting that prepared now.
Yeah, but we don't know the
Verbiage.
verbiage. No, we don't know the ordinance number that's gonna be.
You want the ordinance number on the
Well, no,
sign?
you would want the
You
code
know, I
number.
think Colin,
on
in
what
order to
the
enforce
the
that,
rules and regulations of the gazebo is gonna be on, because then that would give them power, the police power to take them off. If you don't put the right information on it, am I wrong there? They don't have the power to do it. You have to make sure we have the right code, whatever code that we create, like whatever added, amended, that chapter's gotta be on there.
Hey, Ryan,
Gotta be on there,
On the sign,
on the sign.
on the sign, it's gotta tell you what, your violation of code, will be this number,
We'll touch base with that, that have to happen.
chapter 1.
I don't know, I don't think that's, we're obligated, solicitor, maybe you can help me out. I don't know if we're obligated to do that. I think we just do that out of, I guess, education.
Yeah, none of that's in the.
I was always told
none
you
of
have to
that's in
have
the
something,
parking
you can't
area.
enforce something, you don't have it shown on there.
All the parking area, we did
Can you
the
speak to
no
that?
parking from 9 to 6 and none. We had no.
If our signage matches what's in our borough ordinance, I don't think
Only
Do you
legal
have to
wise.
have it? The answer is no, but you'd be foolish not to. Otherwise, there's no,
enforcement.
Anybody can
Well,
put a
no.
sign up.
there's no ability for the public to know, I need a permit to rent the gazebo.
It would say it on there. It says it on the sign. It just doesn't include the ordinance number 42-6.
No, a
Semicolon.
simple reference to perk or
Permit only.
a permit is required, something.
That should be fine. I think those things, put that in there, so they can look it up, the information, but how they require a permit, like how would they know where to acquire a permit?
If the sign's gonna say permit required for gatherings, parties, whatever, I mean, we have a sign.
Yeah,
that say
the
that.
sign
It's just-
says all.
It's not
all of-
referencing the borough number, but we know that ordinance because we passed it, so we know that's in the law.
And if they were to stop something, they could clearly say it's in the ordinance,
That is in the park. Is that covered?
not the pickleball stuff.
Ordinances cover anything that we're talking about? They should be in line with it, but
Yeah, they are, but we have to touch our previous lawyer, and I don't think that pickleball stuff made it through, so.
Yeah,
that'll be-
so we gotta do that all.
Yeah, that'll be something we
But
have to redo.
we got time for that, so they don't start from March.
that.
So maybe we'll make sure, I'll make sure that's on March.
I have to reset, our previous solicitor was supposed to be handling, and it fell
So you want the,
somewhere. We're having a new pickleball court constructed, which also requires ordinances, which I previously sent, but we can resend.
Could I send them, I can send them now and try to put it on the next agenda if that's okay. Try to, the new pickleball. What's that?
Be easy.
Yeah, I'll try to get it on this next.
That's fine, they didn't change, so it's all what we previously
Are they
had.
completed?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, he said the completed ordinance, he just.
No, the pickleball court. I mean,
No, it's not, yeah,
That's
yeah.
starting yet.
Starting in March, and then it should be about a month.
Yeah, we have all the rules and regulations completed, that it just need to know place to put it in the parks and ordinance.
That's all I had for that, I don't know if anybody has anything else.
All right,
Yeah.
we good with that? Everybody's okay with those ordinances being added to the agenda? Okay. Moving along to resolutions. We have the first one, I'm sure we're gonna have questions on, so the authorizing the tax assessor to initiate a reassessment for a property in the borough in Brooklawn. So this resolution was authorizing the assessor to begin the process of doing a reassessment. It's not a full total reval, but the reassessment to get us in line. Right now, we're at 60% of the net equalized rate, valuation of the county. So, usually state law dictates after, if you have a collection rate under a certain amount and, certain other items like being under 80% of the valuation, you have to do a reval. But since then, it's very expensive to do, so they say you have to do it every 10 years. We can hold off until 2027 and do it, 2027, 2028, before we come in line. I just don't agree with that. I think we're too low now. I'd rather reassess now, get the properties in line. If the properties do go down based on any recession or anything like that, we'll be over 100%, which we were at one point. So we got a little bit of, but it all equalize at some point. So I suggested we do it with $87,000. I think it was. I gave you guys all a copy.
It's wise to do this when the market is as high as it is.
Two reasons. One is, like I said, going over assessment does not hurt us. It does not affect us on the tax rate or anything like that. It's actually beneficial, to be honest with you. The other reason is the values are really, really low on the assessment. Like, so a house, most houses here are assessed at like $100,000, and most houses are selling for $250 to almost $280.
Yeah.
So you really want to get that number up. And like I said, like it doesn't. Everybody always thinks the reval is everybody's tax is going to go up. It's not true. So the assessed value goes up, and the tax rate goes down. So the tax rate now is like 4.16. It'll probably go down to like 2 something, depending on how the valuation goes up and stuff like that. And then so everybody always said, oh, your tax rate's high, but they don't understand that it's dictated by assessment, not dictated by the rate itself. So like, some people like towns like, down in the shorelines are under 1, they're like 0.95 or 0.98. I go to cities like 0.98, which is crazy, but their valuation of houses are a lot higher. So they have their taxes are probably the same in relation based on assessment. So that's how you have to approach different towns. So that's one of the pros of doing it ahead of time. It's when you go over, you get longevity out of it with the amount of time that happened on there. I mean, 2015 was the last time 2015, it's like 16 was, yeah. So the last resolution was. So we're at 10 years right now, basically.
We're at 60, is that what you said, 60%?
We're at 60% now. Usually back in the day, the state law was 80%. I think we had to do a reval. You hit 80%, 70%. Yeah. So we're already below that number.
How about other
So
Towns,
if I could, because I
Go for it. I know
actually,
that.
when I saw this, it raised a red flag for me.
Yeah.
Just because of when I went through another municipality. So the easiest way to think about it is, right now in 2025, we're at 64.81. After a revaluation or reassessment, that goes to 100%. So if we were to do a reval reassessment in 2025, we would be at 100. 2026, it may go down to 99. 2027, it may go down to 95. So each year that you don't update it, it's going to fall. To put your 64.81 into perspective, there's 36 municipalities in Camden County. There are 19 municipalities that had a lower rate than you.
That's good.
The one issue with respect to reval reassessment, quite frankly, is a public education campaign. I can tell you, for most municipalities, they would rarely voluntarily undertake a reval reassessment just because of political blowback. But Ryan is correct. You know, a reval reassessment does not mean that your taxes are going to be raised. The easiest way to think about it is, let's assume that all the property in the Borough of Brooklawn is assessed for $100 million. And then each of you, as a resident of Brooklawn, will pay a small portion of that. Following a revaluation or reassessment, that 100 million does not change. That remains static. What does change is what each of you pays in proportion to the 100 million. And in a good reval or good reassessment, an assessor will tell you that typically a third of the properties will have a higher rate, a third will stay the same, and a third will go lower. Is that always the case? No, but again, traditionally, that's about where things fall. For any property or business owner today, if they build on a vacant lot, or if they add an improvement to an existing structure, they're going to be at 100%. The properties typically that would go up after a reval reassessment are the properties that had not pulled permits, had not made any changes. But, you know, the only thing I would say legally is whoever you engage to perform it, that they have a long track record of doing them successfully. Haddon Heights had a horrible situation several years ago. You may be familiar with it, where their tax assessor, who shall go nameless, completely botched it, and it ended up costing the municipality hundreds of thousands of dollars. So it's something you really want to pay attention to when.
Why did it cost them money?
Because it was done incorrectly. And, you know, the year after the revaluation, 70 or 80% of the properties filed appeals and were successful. And it was so bad that the tax court actually ordered them to completely redo it.
So you're saying that the people doing this, they have to be fair, is what you're saying? Or is it all just is it just statistic?
I would say primarily they have to be experienced with actually conducting it. That is of primary importance.
I do agree with that.
That there are entities out there whose sole job is to perform these. You know, it's a lengthy process. Typically, you would fund it and then engage or at least solicit RFPs for, you know, that service. But again, you're not under a court order to move forward.
Not right now.
This would be voluntary.
When would we be? 2028 or 29, something like that, like with that.
Well, next year, you're gonna be at the 10-year.
The 10-year mark, yeah, so.
What are the pros of doing it this year versus next year? Are there?
Pros for some, I guess, right?
In my humble opinion, I think the negatives would outweigh the pros.
To do it this year?
Yes.
What are the negatives?
Well, politically, you know, dealing with the public. And again, a lot of it's an educational campaign. And my suggestion for anyone thinking about this is have that component down first, so that, again, the residents aren't alarmed, because your first inclination is, I'm paying enough already, I want to pay $1 more. And that could not be further from the truth.
And we went through, like in 2015, I did all the meetings, I had town hall meetings and then discussed it with multiple residents. Our favorite town resident was here for 4 hours with me, going and take the entire conversation with me.
Yeah.
and his, taxes actually went up $2, and he was mad because I lied to him and said it wasn't gonna go up. But whatever. So I have no problem doing the education part of it. The guy that did the last assessment doing this one, we wouldn't have to go on RFP because it is our current assessor, and he has a business that does this throughout the state, one of 4 of these reassessment companies, reval companies that does this in the state that I know of. He's always at the lake and all that stuff. So he's good with it. Like I said, I recommend it because there is a lot of, we had a lot of construction over the last couple of years. We had multiple buildings that are at 100%, new buildings, a lot of additions that were put on over the last 9 years. They're assessed at 100%. They're paying double what most people are paying in this town. And I have 2 residents that just moved in that got renovated and they got pushed to 100%. Now they can't even afford their house. That's just 2 people. But I mean, I'm not speaking for the whole town, just for those, but that's the pros of it for me. Not to, there is negative to it. Yes, absolutely. But I have no problem in dealing with the public and answering every the public question because that's going to fall on me. And what Jim did, our assessor, the last time, he invited everybody to come in to appeal. So he sends out the letter, notifies them, gives them well in advance after he goes and assesses all the house, and have them come in, and he appeals it before they even come out of the appeals process. So he does the adjustments early on and then recalculates the entire thing. So based on the appeals that he would get from people that think that their assessment is too high, based on the new rate. So he does a really good job on it.
I have a question. If a person comes in, 2 people, you said, came in and bought a house, and now all of a sudden they can't afford their house. How much in buying a house last year to this year, because they're 100% now, because what, they built the house, or?
Well, no, because they did extensive renovations in the house.
Okay.
So a lot of these people are flipping these houses quickly. They'll come in, get a permit, spend 1 month in there, get the house sold. It doesn't hit until October, so the reassessment doesn't get hit because it's added omitted. Then it gets hit to 100%, and then and then the title company didn't catch it, so we would tell them that it's going to be high, but the title company doesn't catch it sometimes, and then their assessment becomes ridiculously outside of what their mortgage goes up and their escrow goes up because they didn't anticipate this.
Is that their negligence then?
It could go against the one person is the title company's fault. I flat out told them.
Yeah.
The other one was told in advance because I had the paperwork. But the other one, I had no paperwork on, and they were told. But the other one was told in advance.
Seems like a very small sample size to do it.
Well, no, it's a small sample. I'm just giving you 2 examples.
Yeah.
You have 2 additions you have 4 additions I know of that are going to start now. I know you've done one. You know what I mean? There's all these people they have the different aspects of it. There's always thing, and you got these new buildings that just got built, the 3 new buildings. So they're going to be all at 100%, which is fine, but they're commercial, so I don't really care.
My only thought to the team here is we had a very expensive last year, and I would assume we're gonna have another expensive year this year, plus as well as we had all.
Well, this won't hit our budget this year.
Okay.
When you do these revals and stuff like this, it's a 10-year, it's called a special emergency. You create a special emergency, and you pay 1/5 every single year starting the following year.
Okay.
So if you initiated this year, start next year, I think it was $17,500 a year in a budget starting next year. Does not hit this year. It comes out of your surplus, but it just doesn't hit your budget till next year.
So, but sitting here right now, there'll be no way to estimate what that number would be per household.
No.
We can determine that. And there's no cap. Is there no cap to how much that could increase in terms of reassessment? There's no capping of how far that could jump.
What do you mean?
No, because remember, again, each municipality has a total valuation set for it, 100 million, 150 million. That number never changes. So before the rebound will be 100, after the rebound will be 100. The only thing that changes, who pays what portion within the 100 million.
So the value of their home, in other words, they say, oh, your home now is worth.
Yeah.
Well, every property is gonna.
The thing doesn't, he's right, the number doesn't change, but you gotta remember, the assessed value goes up, the tax rate goes down, that's where the equalization comes in. But the amount of money that's being paid to the borough stays the same. Like, what do you implying? It stays the same amount of money comes to the borough, whether you go up in taxes, down in taxes, the same amount of money. But last time, I think we did the reval to offset the third that he was talking about that was going up too much. He went 2% more on the commercial. So we have 84 commercial businesses, so that actually offset some of those people that went up a little bit, that he was trying to protect them a little bit. So there's wiggle room to play with it. Like I said, he's not wrong. I'm not gonna lie. There is negative to it, and they might outweigh the pros, but I still, feel that that's the path forward. But that's up to you guys. That's why it's on.
Where I'm
Seems
sitting,
like-
Honestly, if Jim could get us a letter from the tax court that we just start planning, or if something is covered that this wasn't done out of the blue, would go along.
No, he knows, he got the information from the tax court. He talked to them already,
Did
but it
Jim
wasn't
reach out
like
to you
they
proactively?
initiated it. They didn't initiate it. We
No, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Something from them, not in order, but
Yeah.
something less than your 64 percent. Highly recommend and suggest you start looking.
I can get that. That's not gonna, I don't think that's gonna matter with the decision making, but you still.
No, but it'll matter for the residents.
Sorry, my
Yeah.
love, public.
and I know everybody,
Well, we still gotta do it next year because.
everybody's entitled to their own opinion, but I just think coming out of the water situation we just came out of,
Less
given the state of the economy, given the fact that we just did water and sewer increase as well, to chuck something else out there that we don't know is gonna be an impact on individual households, I think it's foolish on our part. I don't think we can throw another thing at our people after what we've been through in the last couple of years, and I would vote against it.
That might be a hard
Everybody
sell.
gets their own.
A calmer year would be nice, especially if we want to do like the 100 year. I would say a calmer year.
I don't think the calmer year's coming, but yeah.
Well, wait a minute, now, we have some commercial buildings that are gonna really, hopefully, do very well.
Yeah.
Soon, right?
Oh, yeah.
In fact, it's,
I'm not disagreeing with it. We could have protection on the back end of those revenues that come in on those buildings too,
so part of,
added rate.
part of a discussion with neighbors, or let's say we had a town hall or something like that, and you start getting into the high and the low, and the 2% maybe we'll put on the commercial to help the ones that are gonna be down here. Like, I mean, you actually telling me somebody's taxes could go down in this,
Yeah.
like mine?
Not yours, no, but other people.
I'm talking mine.
The third that typically would go down are the properties that are paying 100%.
Like I was just talking about, all
The
those
newer
would definitely
people,
go down.
a lot of-
Like the one property that's over here, that's $8,000 will go down to $4,500.
Isn't
Like-
this one
like,
down here
for
paying
instance,
9,500, right?
Wow.
I think I pay them.
I don't think so.
No,
I
someone
think
down
I'm
Thursday,
pretty-
9,500.
I'm higher than you.
Are you?
You wanna pay some of mine?
No,
No,
but I
God.
may.
Well, back in the day,
I got 4
I
more
was
years to
higher than
pay.
anybody else. When we
You can
first
take
put our
it, you can take
addition on,
mine.
and our equipment went off,
Well, you
they
got the
knocked
column.
on my door.
Yeah, he's got the
Yeah.
car.
Ours
They're worth
did,
50 grand.
I
They got big
almost
idea.
doubled. Oh, no.
All I
And
wanna
then
know is
I
how
thought
is
my
it affecting
taxes on my
me?
appealed it,
That's
won my
fair.
tax appeal, but then that was the
No,
year
I-
the
I'm
tax
kidding.
rate went down. So they went down anyway. But for years,
You get killed.
I was killed. I own that street. I used to lay on that street. I'm like, come over, you can't park here. I own the street. Oh, I did. Oh, I did. I was very salty for a lot of
So-
years.
So you wanna hold off on it?
I'm a no,
Yeah.
yeah. I'm a
Okay.
Yeah, I
no.
do,
Okay,
because
okay, we'll just hold off on it. You got 3 no's
I was
definitely, so
impacted by it, and I know.
I'm sure you guys are on that. Okay, we'll move on. Authorizing appointment of full-time police officers. The 3 guys, they're, we wanna swear them in. They all know to be sworn in on this meeting, right? So they're all provisional now, for permanent. They went to the academy. We're all good. I think that's a good thing for them.
That's great.
The bingo ones, they're standard. The authorization to execute the submission of the application local recreational grant. This was already done. The grant was due on January 31st. It's been submitted. I did everything I could. I got all the stuff I wanted, for the project. Basically, that'd be we're looking at about $62,500. It'll be a $130,000 project to do the retaining wall, some planters, a walkway, and all that stuff. So we can only get to 50% reimbursable. So hopefully we get that grant and we'll do it all together. Authorization to apply municipal lien. I believe Councilmember McAdams saw the email this morning. Just one property that's on there. It's going to sale at the end of the month. we wanna make sure we get the lien on there, so, and I already informed the title company that the lien will be added. I just didn't calculate the number, it's gonna be at least $800, so I just wanna make sure they, knew about the, lien, and the property on Third Street, I'm sure you're aware of.
I'm getting my checkbook out. I'm on the first one in line. That's gonna be mine. I'm gonna buy it.
So, that's those ones, anybody have any questions about those? And then there's not gonna be another one, authorization to, hire an alternate, planning and zoning, we need one more alternate. The mayor appointed, Andrew Karras, right? Andrew Karras to be the second alternate of it would be, so that will be on the next agenda, for the second alternate.
Is it Brittany and then him?
Yeah, but they,
You're tactical.
and then, so they will be on it, but obviously, as you know, alternates do not vote unless a member of the board is not there.
Yeah.
But they are a part of the board, they come to all the meetings.
And they should not be up here, they'll be sitting.
They'll be sitting out there with, if.
So it's mainly for, somebody goes to the Eagles game, or somebody can't make it, or
Flew to California and
ball
can't
game,
get
go to California, Minneapolis, or something like that.
Oh, you're the one who always went away.
Like a relief pitcher.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, and,
Right, do we
and you
need,
gotta keep it close.
do we need a resolution added that we're gonna pursue?
But I think he'll be good, because he's a very,
So,
thinker.
Buy the book, yeah.
yeah, so, not until he gives me a letter stating that they want to open the contract up. I can't put that on that agenda, that's fine.
We can still get it on next
But,
meeting. if we get
for
that.
authorization to the authorization for them to go to hire somebody, that's not, need something.
Just to start that process.
You don't need to do anything on that at this point. It's not a resolution thing, so only for the hire or appointment of something, when your committee meets and picks somebody, then that's when it'll be coming up. Thank you. Anything else? Does anybody on the resolution that thinks should be on the agenda? Does anybody from the committee that I missed possibly?
One thing, I'm not sure if it would fall into this, so you feel free to push that on the line. When we have, people that are due up for elections, the goal used to do it like all the time for us, right? Go back and forth.
Yes.
I think I'm up this year. Are you up?
You're on your own.
I'm on my own.
You're on
Good.
your
Yeah.
own.
Who's gonna do that?
All right,
You're on
so-
your own.
I think Kevin,
So Kevin Everhart's your thing, so this would not be a place to do it. Like I said, it's, with politics in here, it's governance, so that would be a political thing.
Got it.
So, but and honestly, the Democratic chair is, Kevin Everhart. I can give you the information. He'll go ahead and, do all the numbers you need, all the, signatures you need for the two people. So, and, March 27th is deadline to get all the signatures. Thank you. The nominating petition.
you're pretty get involved, right, Trish, with the county? Because they're not interested in getting involved.
I believe it's you and, Christine, right? No, Christine, yeah, you and Christine are the ones that are running. No,
I'll do
Wait a
some
minute, I
digging
think,
on
wait a
this.
minute,
No, Bruce was only on expired term of Patrick.
Yeah.
It's Christine that took the other, your seat would have been up.
Right.
No, not your seat.
No, I
didn't.
Bruce took your seat.
wait a minute,
You took Patrick's seat, right?
No, he did.
Bruce did, he's,
Bruce is up?
He's
Yeah.
Patrick.
I think I'm up, I think.
So Bruce might be up.
No,
Hey,
it's
Bruce.
John and Christina are up.
I don't know, I think we're
I'm
still
not
up.
Yeah.
All right, so, but either, two people are up, so.
I don't ask questions. so.
Kevin Everhart will
I
have that
know it's
information.
these two guys.
Okay, I thought it was Christine, so I thought it was.
100%.
Yeah.
It is.
So, because I thought it was, you were always running with Patrick, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's Christine, I thought she took
No.
Patrick's
you
seat.
took my,
Samantha.
No, Bruce took your seat.
I have no
Christine
idea, I
took
just
Patrick's.
show up.
I thought.
but then,
And I appreciate somebody giving me this meetings where I can change every
you
freaking
need to
month.
say with her. It's
So
not-
anyway, so,
It's not Christine. No, I'm just saying,
whatever, whoever took Patrick's spot is,
it's Bruce.
It is not, it is Christina.
Christine took my seat with
I
me
mean,
and
he
Colin
may have
ran.
to run off, so I'll find
Yeah, I don't
out.
know.
I never knew what
But
unexpired
it's
term was,
definitely these two.
means when the term does in fact expire. That's the stupidest, most government nonsense I've ever in my life. Is that an unexpired term? Yeah.
yeah, the only one,
Expired.
only one
It
people take a
expires.
seat.
You know,
What?
stupid thing is that, yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, next,
Items to discuss?
Right.
Going next?
Yeah.
Items to discuss? items to
Colin
discuss?
and-
Okay, item
Figure
of
that part out
discussion.
later.
So we have,
I'm just talking.
rental of, community center.
We'll talk it. Go ahead, we're good. Sorry, I apologize.
Rental of community centers, we are in the process of cleaning it out. They had until this Friday to have everything out, and we're gonna send, our favorite guy Harry in there and, clean that place, top to bottom.
He started a little bit, just obvious trash, because
Yeah.
like you said, they have until,
This Friday.
yeah.
And we'll get, maybe we can get a dumpster over there.
Tell me
We're
when, tell me
definitely
when,
gonna
tell
need
me
a
how, and I'll put
dumpster
it
over
there.
there.
Probably Friday, probably this Friday.
Is that
Up
when
to
you
the
want it
community
there?
center, yeah, community center.
Here's one day.
Ryan, is this a building we own? No.
We own, yeah.
Let me see this, man.
Who's what?
I wasn't aware that.
No one uses it. Well, I mean, we rent it out, like, we rent it out to organizations and stuff like that. But we're having problems with people, we want people to be able to run it out, like, you know,
That's just,
baby, baby shower and stuff like that. And we're all over the place in price, so there's nothing written in any ordinance or anything about what to do. So previous administration was, you could only suggest a donation you would ask for from them to give you a donation for the property, whatever, like, you know, for the youth. But we wanted to come up with a price that we would charge, no liquor, obviously, but what we would charge for somebody to come in there somewhere, and then it would be a price for an outside resident, inside resident, and employees.
You may want to check with the JIF, if I'm not mistaken.
They have a whole thing on it, the TULIP program and all that stuff. We follow all that. But the problem is we just never got to the point of rental fees. I have all the program on the JIF part. We have all the paperwork, the hold harmless, the checklist, the TULIP program. We're all signed up for all those programs. Well, I don't really care about the TULIP because that's more for the liquor liability, but we're not really authorized liquor. So, did anybody meet on the community center thing? Did anybody meet to discuss what we're gonna do that on the committee yet? So we'll just keep that on the next agenda. All right, I'll move on to that.
Just a question regarding like the rental aspect, can that be kind of coincide with the gazebo rental aspect, so that they're both like a consistent process?
What?
Good idea.
Like with the
Same
rental of the community center and the rental of the gazebo, can they be the same process?
Well, yeah,
So that, I
because,
mean, I know the prices would be different, but can they still?
Same
be-
spot on the
I believe-
website, same.
Yeah,
Councilman-
same coming here, because that way they can have that option.
yeah, well, he suggested at the last meeting about the calendar. I think it was you that suggested the calendar that we could put on the website to rent the property and stuff like that, so everybody can see the schedule, what's gonna be in
Exactly,
there.
which is.
And I think that's a great idea. It's just a matter of getting a plan together, what you want to charge employees, charge the internal residents and the external residents. And I think we should, I would like to maybe rename it a senior center, a senior community center, to try to get funding from the CDBG, because they maybe can renovate it with that money. But because we haven't renovated in a long time, we maybe get a new floor.
CB what?
CDBG, so Community Development Block Grant.
That's a great idea.
And because it used to be a community center, senior community center, but then the people that were running it died off actually. In 2015, I couldn't keep it up, but nobody wanted to take over that property. And,
So you need a new name for. the
yeah, we
community
appointed the appointment of the actual, agent to the aging. It was something called, I can't remember what it's called, something with the aging.
Great name, yeah.
I don't know, yeah, but it was like,
Catchy.
yeah, so that person passed away and we just never could replace that position to be able to keep senior programs. We do have senior programs like Senior Dance Club, on Sunday, they meet during a day now. The line dancing still goes
I
there.
actually, I
Square
forgot,
dancing.
I have a schedule for everybody. I will try and get that email to you guys with my 2-hour delay tomorrow. I have all the groups and the days that they're in there. so
Yeah.
I-
What we're gonna name it to?
You can name that, after me.
What's
That's
that?
good, I like that.
They-
All in favor?
You
Come on!
you can name whatever you want, but the thing would just be, could be, you know, the Jerry
Maybe under-
Grandstrom, Senior Community Center.
Could it be under resident?
What's that?
It could be.
It could be named after a resident. I mean, I don't know if Marion County ever had anything named after her.
Skip's Playhouse? That's a ring?
Skip Playhouse? Is that what you're right?
No, I don't want to be associated with anything. Senior stuff.
So,
I'm all about.
But but we did hold off on letting people in there, so, I mean, we had one officer, Detective Gundel, one of the youth for his son's first birthday, I let her, because of all the stuff she does for our community. So, you want me to just notify you, somebody requests something, just so, like, so while we're waiting to figure this out,
Yeah.
and they're not just sitting there waiting, because there's been a couple people call me, I'm like, I'm not doing anything until we know, so.
Okay.
Well, they know, see, they know where to go.
Do you guys?
What's that?
They know where to go. That's-
Yeah, but I'm just, they're gonna make the decision.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
You know, I just want to say, you know, these metal buildings have a shelf life.
Full building?
Yeah,
What's that shelf life?
what I mean is, it could be, you know, they guarantee them for so long, and then the guarantee runs out. I don't know if our insurance or the TIF or the HIP. Well, sometimes, you know, they got rubber grommets on that metal roof, and sometimes they gotta be coated. We had trouble. We did have some leaks in that.
Yeah, we did the roof in 2020.
Well, they didn't really redo it, but they
They
redoing
did that.
all the anchors, yeah. So there could be money for that, because once it's out of life, you know, I don't know what happens after that. But they only guarantee them for so long, metal buildings, including the one you're looking at. There's a life to 20 years.
I'm good with a brick building if you wanna build me one.
What's that?
I'm good with brick if you wanna build me a brick building.
Okay.
So, so we'll just keep that tabled to your committee decides what you guys want to do for that. Borough Homes, you want to get any update on that, Christine, or?
We looked over what we're calling HUD units. They're actually home units, is what the program actually is, which is a program through the federal government of HUD, but it's actually the home is the program. Home Investment Partnerships Program is actually what it's called. In reviewing that, there is no cap on increases each year to the $15, and we're about $400 a month across the board under the market on those units as well. We have one vacant right now, and I asked Nancy to wait so I can figure out what the right number is, because I don't want to put it at the ceiling for a couple reasons. One, I don't know what the utility allowance is for that unit right now.
Zero, they don't have to worry about it. I asked,
Okay,
Rob,
so zero. And bringing it to the ceiling, just in my experience, has never been a good thing. You always want a buffer. You don't know what the
Rate will
rents.
go down next year.
Correct.
Yeah.
The rents are driven by the AMI, which is the average median income, which changes every year in April or May by HUD. And if you go to the cap, then you have the chance of having to go to the tenant and say, have to lower your rent. So I've always left a buffer to have room for that. Even with that buffer, some of these units are $300 a month off where we should be. So we'll be looking at that to.
And the scale up from 2020 is unbelievable. I couldn't believe how, like, I went back and looked at the previous numbers. I'm like, yeah, we were going up $10, $15, and I'm like, well, they went up like tremendous amount.
Yeah. So, that's gonna generate a lot of revenue.
Yeah, so we can actually go up also when you decide to go up in July, they can go up a significant jump.
Yep.
Instead of the $15.
We were always like 2%. We didn't want to, you know, we're trying to be.
Well, you're trying to be conservative, but we need to catch up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not to make us rich, it's to maintain the buildings. Some of them are in really bad shape and really need some serious attention, so, you know, it's not
We
just
need
that we
roofs in
want
some of
money.
them and
They
stuff.
need roofs, soffits, windows, doors, kitchens, flooring, like, it's not just a stove in these units, they're pretty, you know, what you consider as capital investments in these units.
How does reassessment affect us on those 30 homes? Anything?
They don't affect that, because they're not taxed. The reassessment, they'll put a value on it, but there's no assessment
Does it
against
help?
it.
Does the value help us?
No, it doesn't help you at all. It doesn't affect, those homes does not affect our tax rate, because it doesn't, it's not rateable to us. We just get money revenue from for it. That's it. Its reassessment will not help at all.
Yeah.
So question on that is, So we would try to adjust the number, we get resolution maybe next month to adjust the income qualified ones
Mhm.
for anybody that moved out
Correct.
to a new number, and then the people that were in will just come up with that solution and
Correct.
set down in,
Yeah.
thing. Okay. And then we have one eviction that we began,
Mhm.
that started already on one of the homes. And like we talked about earlier, we get a grant for some money that we can actually do some good work on it. What you talked about, home dollars, the CCIA, which is the Camden County Improvement Authority, already notified me that they're gonna be releasing some home dollars again. I'm gonna go and see if I can get money for that. Maybe while we're in the process of this, maybe get it for this property that's empty right now, make it an income qualified house, because the rents are not bad, because they're more money. The low rent is, more money than what we're getting on any of our houses.
Yeah.
So it's not, like, it's not out of realm, but I think we should try to get the money now. So what is like $800 of rent, we can get $1,200, $1,400 in rent for these houses.
Yeah. And just a little bit about the units of eviction, they are 3 months behind in rent, which is what we previously agreed to just kind of be a little bit more courteous with our residents. And the process with this attorney that I had asked for, we passed, is a portal online. So literally Missy goes in, uploads the thing, she gets an email, and then she can check the status the entire time of the process. So it's very, very efficient, very fast.
This is what we spoke about last month?
Yeah.
That's great.
And, you know, and Ryan actually has when she set up the account, Ryan is in there as well, that he can go check at any time, so if anybody
Really cool,
wants
it's
to
like
stay.
you got tabs on it, you
Yep.
can see where it's at in the court, and it'll send you an email when it gets the court docket, and it gets on the court.
Yeah,
Not
but
a- yeah.
it's nice, it's really fast, I mean, Missy was shocked, how quick she was able to put the packet together and send it off to the attorney, so she was pretty happy about that.
It only took 2 years for the last one.
Yeah. So,
The Word doc was, just Word doc, I guess.
yeah,
I
it was
just-
Word doc.
I just find it, I just kind of find it shocking, the difference between what it was last year and that process and now this year where the turnover.
We never, we were always a town, like, I mean, you gotta remember, I've done it for 13 years.
Yeah.
We never did it anything like
I
that,
know,
at all.
that's what I'm saying.
Like, even the ones that were really strict,
How it's changed.
she was telling me things, I was like, where was this, like, 15 years ago when I was doing this? Like,
Yeah.
so just because she's a part of that, she understands it.
Mhm.
Now these people, all the
Very
tenants got the tenant laws, everybody's got the rules, regulations, there's a whole packet that gets like this thick now that gets when they even move in. So
Yeah.
it's really interesting.
It's good, and then, for the software, we, started the process with that, I'm in communication with them, so we should, what they'll have to do is basically, they come out to make sure you're an actual entity, and that you're not fraudulently going to be scanning people's, or screening people's backgrounds, so they'll come do a physical visit, just to ensure that we are who we are, and then we'll get that going, so hopefully
Is
the
that the
next couple
program
weeks.
that you're,
Yeah, the Breeze program.
how would that be a scam?
People sign up to screen
Identity.
people, identity theft.
Really, and they don't even own the house.
good.
it's like
Correct,
that.
so
They
they'll
want
come
that.
out here to make sure that we're a physical building and municipality and all of that, to make sure that they're protecting. Because at the end of the day, they're the ones screening these folks, so they can be sued, so they wanna make sure you'll do it.
So while we're waiting on the rent, is it okay to start looking for the income qualified person for a phone?
Yeah, I told Missy.
So Missy
she-
said you were gonna call.
She
for a
said she
phone.
had 3 people that she was going to call. I just said, don't quote them a rent yet, because I want to figure out what the number will be for that unit that, the previous employee moved out of.
But I gotta still gotta follow guidelines, so they can't make that,
Yeah.
income qualification.
That's one of the 5, right?
Yes,
Well,
yes.
yeah, one of the 5 of those.
Yep.
But the one is empty.
correct. And it's pretty much
Attached,
turns,
right?
is
It's
what
ready
she
to go.
told me.
2-bedroom attached?
Yeah, yeah, she
Ready
said
to
it's turns.
Yeah.
Ryan, I did ask her though for some pictures, of.
You got pictures of the Hayton house, and we'll get pictures of the
Okay,
Pennsylvania house.
okay, because I wanted to,
Put it on the
put those
website.
on the website as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to kind of,
They did a really good job of that fast and that quick on the,
yeah.
quick on the Hayton.
Yeah, I just want to put them on the website to kind of help advertise the units as well. I mean, homes, I should say, because like our homes, to just kind of draw more attention to them so that we can get, people interested in it.
Make sure you tell them, Patty, make sure they cut their grass, and
Yeah.
make sure they go clean up to the
Yeah,
curb line when
absolutely.
add the ordinance.
The ordinance
Yeah,
says-
Add the ordinance.
Yeah.
So if it's a home. it's not
That's
a
what,
rental.
those are those sample packets I gave you last month, were what we call resident handbooks, that kind of stuff would be in those.
Right.
So, if you have a chance to just look at them, tell me which one you like more over than the other, or if anyone has opinions on what they want in that book, just to let me know, and then I can just put it together. I probably have 10 examples of that thing, so.
Yeah, we've come out of the dark ages with you guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I don't appreciate it because it's a lot more work.
It's a lot of clerical work, and
Well, I
speaking
have-
of that, that's why
you know,
we.
There's a
You know,
government
yeah.
response about.
Yeah, no, this is the government response.
Government response.
Instead of buying a
Um,
street sweeper, we can get some help for you. How about that?
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you should-
No, you did a fantastic job.
I mean, we're like, what? We can get how much?
Yeah.
Right?
No, you did a great job, Christina. I do appreciate all the help you do. Nice work for that.
All of it. Did a great job.
The next one is RFP for solicitor and cyber. We went out for RFP, so we'll be appointing both of them. Obviously, the one person that's here, that will be appointed. If anybody wants to see the RFPs, they're in my office. The cyber, we got 3 in, one with their current and 2 other ones. Their rate, the other 2 were around $2,500 a month based on what I wanted. And our current one is $1,800 a month. So we're gonna stick with our current, I'm just going based on price. The one that's $2,500 a month was really, really good and probably would have been better service and better moving forward, but I just can't justify $8,000 more a year right now. So that's just not
What's cyber?
Well,
cyber.
I-
Anything, they handle the, everything is like the servers for both the police and the public. There's the 2 servers. All the computers, they have antivirus and they have monitoring 24/7, right? And it all goes to they can access it from their location. They handle all the phones in the sense of because they're all internet based. And they handle all the phone lines, all the computers that we have here, the laptop I have, a laptop that the mayor has, VPNs, all the things for remote access, all that stuff is handled by them. All the 40 emails that we pay for the not Life 360, but the Microsoft 365, that's all paid to Microsoft by them.
Mhm.
So, and they keep monitoring of all the email accounts. They have an archive system with the Microsoft on top of the archive system we have for all the emails and stuff like that. So it's a really good program and stuff like that. The ones that they don't do anything with the website like at all. The company that was going to come in would have done website included, like you make a phone call, they paint the website, they update it.
Who does that now?
I think,
We do it now. Dave does it now.
Who?
Dave does it now.
Our guy?
Our office. does it now.
I absolutely think we gotta upgrade our.
Well, no, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, this is what they do. They would they would take the update, the website. They added, also, extra layer protections like Datto, which is a, cloud-based system, which is, you have a server, then you have the cloud-based server that protects the server itself. So if you ever had any issues with anything, you have anything backed up. We have that, but it's not something that is backed up every day. It's backed up once a month. So it would have been daily. So we would not lose any data daily. So
Was Dave?
How about our
brought on-
cameras?
Yeah.
camera system was totally separate thing. It's not anything to do.
Was Dave brought on to manage the website as far as one of his jobs?
Yes, he is supposed to be doing that now. We're trying to get him acclimated with the whole system and how to track to do more things to it. We're teaching him.
What is the, who's the server who holds the website? Is it Wix? Is it
We own it.
GoDaddy?
It's through GoDaddy, but we own it.
Okay.
We actually own the service. It used to be owned by a former employee here for 20 years, Captain Saman. So he would say, took me forever to get it off the name rights off it, but we were able to get the rights off of that. So, but we own it back here now. So it's not like it's like the website is owned by another web designer. So it's owned
Yeah,
by
it's
the
like
Borough.
Wix is
We
the
own the
secondary.
Borough. I paid the last fee, so for the next 5 years. So I know it's owned by us. So that's the reason why, like, I mean, I'm not spending another $7,000, $8,000 more for another company at this time. But in the meantime, I'm also at the same time, Councilmember Alchins also pointed a couple of things that we could probably save money on top of the cybersecurity. That is on the phone system. Phone system, we're paying like money on this things like $485 a month. We the one company that did put an RFP in quoted me $240 a month to do the same exact thing, bringing all new phones. So we're gonna meet with them and try to get that service running with one of the cyber companies. So maybe next year, the RFP comes in differently, we might be able to do something with that company.
Now, are they able to, I mean, I know we can't share bids or anything like that. You can't negotiate after they. put
You
it
can,
on
I
bid.
talked to him and they're not negotiating. He flat out said, I'm going to be higher, but I bring a different, like
Level of
like
service.
a level of service. He does. Like the guy that with him has left the company we have now, went to work for it. And I like the guy that they fought.
Yeah.
So, and everybody here likes him.
So, no,
So,
like I'm
Are we
thinking
gonna say
about
we're sorry
exactly
we
with our
hired that
community
guy
center
and
piece,
should
right?
spend
Like,
the
what are
money?
you guys gonna work on, like to have
No.
somebody that doesn't do a website to try to, put that in there and make it better? I mean, I don't think we're gonna get anything out of.
not right this second, but I mean, I don't think Dave understands the design of it yet, to be able to really.
I mean, is that really his passion?
No, it's not his, I don't think he went to school for any of this stuff, like,
Is
to
he
know how to
like,
do web design. I designed the first website, I didn't go to school for it.
I mean, this is just me and like teamwork, like, and I'm just gonna ask you this question, it's not knocking him or really any people here by any means, but like, is he like, okay, I'm gonna clock out at 5 and I'm gonna spend some time to learn this so I can be good at my day
But
job?
now we're going off too far.
Okay,
he's not
I'm just
here.
curious, like, if there's people, my opinion is, have the experts do what they're experts in.
No, we don't have the experts for web design, absolutely not. Because most of the websites here, we're a small town, everything was done by us. Like, we designed the two websites prior to us was Captain Salmon, before us. So it's been a while since we had, like, the last one that we got designed by Sandy Kelly, I believe.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was the same exact website I designed.
Yeah.
So I don't think it was worth that money we spent on it at all. So, so can it be better? 100%, but is it serviceable? It's workable. It's a good tool it could be 100% better than it is now.
With what we have currently.
With what we currently have at the website. It's all through WordPress, so that's easy to work with. It's very easy, it's very, basic with HTML, like anything else, like you can do it, it's really easy.
The problem, it's not updated. You know what I mean? They don't update. They update Facebook, but they don't update that.
It
They
does,
should
no,
be
on the
running-
Facebook, on the Facebook page, it's supposed to update the thing on the site, it does. But like the things that we, like, events and stuff, it's outdated, like 2 years, like a year
Yeah,
ago, like,
well,
okay. I understand that.
Yeah,
I mean, we have to be
it
better on it.
It doesn't look good, that's all.
I agree with you, and I'm working on it.
It might be one of those things where they pick and choose what they update, because people probably tend to look more at the Facebook page because it goes through a feed versus somebody actually going to the website.
Good point,
to see the
yeah.
update. So
That's a good point.
it might, for their time efficiency and what they do, right, again, I don't know.
Not everybody goes
That
on
could be
Facebook.
possibly why
Yeah.
they update the Facebook page, because social media is constant.
Yeah, it's
You
good.
have to constantly,
Yeah.
websites are stagnant,
away,
they're
that's what it should
main
be.
station.
I don't put any of my immediate updates on the website at all.
No, I know. I mean, it should be. People, at the town
And
website, it should
everybody
be.
will tell me, why don't go on the website, I don't even know how to find it. Why don't you put it on Facebook?
It is kind of hard
That's
to find.
ridiculous.
You're right.
Listen
It's
to
kind of hard to find.
Well, stormwater management stuff, all those things that.
That's not immediate notification.
It's not immediate notification, but that stuff should be on there, and we're backdated on that. We should have that updated. That's not on you. That's on us getting information from you to be able to put on that website. You know what I'm saying? So that's like, for 2017, the last time it was updated. You know what I mean? So same thing with I have it was like not having a budget and all that stuff on there. That has to be up there. That's on there, but it's been delayed sometimes, not getting on there fast enough. So I agree with you. It's a work in progress. You gave that mandate last, like the end of, I think it was December, we talked about it. I'm working.
Hopefully, we're not going to talk about it next December. You know?
No, we're not. I've changed into the office around.
I know, listen, I know I'm the older generation. I understand that, okay? No, smart.
Usually.
But everybody's on Facebook. Well, everybody isn't on Facebook. I've had numerous people call me to, how do I get on the website? How, you know?
They're not even, like, seriously, people don't even check websites much
No,
anymore.
not your age. No.
I'm talking about the younger ones, even the younger ones, they're more on,
If you wanna find out whose
TikTok.
department and things like that, you don't, I mean, go to our website and, okay, I wanna talk to such and such,
I'm with you. I share the same thing. I think they all need to coordinate at the same time.
Yes, and they should, if you're gonna update this.
If you're confident that you feel, good with it.
We'll get there.
that
We'll
the
get there.
team will
Yeah.
get there, then
We'll get
I trust you and I believe it.
Time. If you want to update it by April, I'll make sure it's ready to go by April and nice.
No pressure, but you understand what I'm saying, right? I'm not.
I trust.
No, Don understands, and I agree with Sean, it's like, if you don't think that person can handle, we need to figure out a way to come up with some things.
I don't think it's hard to do it, I mean, I'm just saying,
Can't talk about that, like, it's always everything I can't bring
We'll
up.
figure it out as it goes along. What's next, the budget part?
The next thing is so you'll have an appointment of the solicitor and the cybersecurity also as resolutions on the next agenda, so. The budget, AFS and ADS. The ADS has been submitted, which was due January 31st. The AFS I completed faster than I did last year, so I'm happy with myself. That's usually due February 10th. I submitted that to the auditors just to review, to make sure I did all the numbers, gave them all the paperwork, so they can get started on their audit. So hopefully I'll have that information from the auditor soon, but I did a lot of towns, the AFS is done by the auditors, which I'm not allowing to do here anymore. I'm making sure I do it myself. And then the budget, I've gotten the budget document ready to go. It's all inputted with numbers. I think it's going to be what we think we're going to be at currently, not what we discussed earlier, but I'm going to adjust those numbers a little bit and see what we come up with. And then once I get the AFS okay, then I'll actually be able to put in hard numbers to know exactly what it's going to look like. If the AFS has like my surplus numbers and stuff like that I need to work with, and to make sure I know that they're all correct, and then I can let you guys know. We'll have a finance committee with people to discuss the budget. So the budget introduction will hopefully be in March, the March council meeting. So hopefully the next work session I have like kind of a concept plan for you guys. We'll skip the next one for a second. The MEL is the municipal employment liability. You guys all have a piece of paper in front of you for the MEL. It's mandatory that, not mandatory, but I'm making it mandatory that you all do that class seminar. It takes you 20 minutes or so, 20, 30 minutes. Do it. You get the $250 deductible off of get $250 off of our deductible with the employment liability. So please, all council people, please do that. Also, we're creating a new bank account for the Borough for First Colonial. This is a internal control thing, and I'm going to reiterate this just in case anybody's watching. This is not in conjunction with something that happened or did happen or anything that we were fine. The audit is good. I feel that internal controls need to be tightened up a little bit better. No issue. No issue occurred. No issue, nothing. But the way the world is now with people washing checks and all this stuff, there's a new thing called positive pay and check clearing. So everything we have, like every one of our bank accounts, we have checks coming in and out. And I do a bank reconciliation monthly to determine. It has not happened here, but I had multiple times happen in another town I work for, where they would have multiple checks at the same number. And obviously somebody's watched the check and utilized it. So what the banks have done to try to combat that is they put a thing into one account. So it will be like a clearing account. So all the money I will transfer the money into one account for only checks that were cut. And then we would send a list of those checks to the bank in a ACH, in a format of the thing. So no check clears the bank for our account unless it's on our list. So it actually is an extra layer of protection of internal controls, and it keeps from many fraudulent activities come across. Some other towns have done it. It actually helped with the, as Brian here would attest, the GIF is really up on this cybersecurity, and this is one of the things that gets you to that next level of security tier 3. That's what would help us get there by having this. And tier 3 is the hardest one to get, and your deductible is only like $1,000 or something like that. when you have a cyber hit. Right now, our deductible $10 grand, over tier 2. But, so just want you to be aware that will be another resolution that we're authorizing open. If anybody has questions about that.
I have a relationship with that bank, and they are exceptional at fraud detection.
And they do a great job, but it's just an extra layer that we protect ourselves, because there's a lot of money in those accounts and stuff like that. So, and actually easier for me to reconcile now because I don't have to reconcile checks. They've already been moved, so it's always 100% in those sessions, and the check would only be on one clearing account. So it's actually easier for me to do bank reconciliation. And last one was the water update. We got a letter or email from the engineer. I know this has been your spearhead. Did you want me to do it, or did you have an idea what that was on that email?
The most recent one?
The one Greg sent yesterday.
I wasn't on that.
Okay, so I don't know if you want to see on it. You want to?
Yeah, so, Calgon, we're gonna accept delivery, March 10th for our, carbon, and we'll be loaded on that day, and should be online that day or shortly after. It's not gonna be online that day, because there's some processes that we need to do, but a few days after that, if not the next day, we'll be online.
You feel pretty confident that we could put that out to the public as?
Yeah, I mean, if it's here and it goes in and everything goes well, yeah, we'll be online. I can't foresee.
Greg was wishy-washy on the last one, which is why I've been kind of steering away from some public communication.
Yeah, and certainly there is weather, like, you know. As long as
They have to do the things the week before. You have to do things before you bring the carbon in. Remember, we talked about
So
that.
we also-
as long as the weather is not underneath.
We also, today, we filled up our system and pressure tested it out with 80 PSI for 4 hours, and I pulled a bacteria test, which I'm sure will be fine. It's been chlorinated, dechlorinated, and now it's currently being tested for bacteria.
Could you forward me that email, please?
Yeah, I'll forward you the
The
email.
Calgon one?
Yeah.
No, the email that Greg sent.
Whatever from Greg. Thank you. Okay.
I'm doing it right now.
Are you guys comfortable putting this out to the world?
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody questions
I
me.
saw activity down there, water all over the place, is that what they're doing, a pressure test?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
and
we pulled bacteria.
everything is okay in there, huh?
Yeah, there was a few leaks, but nothing that, I mean, we had everything up there. So as long as,
Yeah.
you know, we'll pump everything in, as long as everything's operational. We've never had one before, so I you know, we can sit here and tell you everything's gonna be fine, which I certainly feel like we're.
Well, anything's possible, anything.
Exactly.
Yeah, and it's a lot of nuts and bolts with it, so. I see Latimer there, on and off, one guy. Are they completed? Were all the work in there? I know,
No, there's still some minor electrical work that needs to be done.
when's that electrical work going to be done? Or today?
Before the project.
Before March 10th?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
There's no choice. We're gonna pump it in here. We can't let it sit.
Yeah, it was good to see, it was good to see what's going on down there today. That was nice. Had a nice day. So it's bacteria, what's that, 24 hour after 24 hours or something? You take a sample?
Correct.
That's the whole system?
Everything that has to do with that area has been pressurized and
So that's isolated now, right?
correct,
From everything?
correct.
And that big giant thing is what turns it back on into the whole system?
Well, there's like 7 different valves that need to be turned. Yeah, it's not fun, but it's horrible.
How about painting with the,
Sent Ryan a quote, regarding painting of some of the pipes.
I mean, some of them need painting, right? They're all primed. I mean, I don't know if they need it, but
They're gonna get it. I mean, if we put it inside of the building, yeah, that here or there, but yeah, they're gonna get painted as part of the contract. And I also got another part of the contract to paint that recycling, tank as well.
okay, yeah. That's good. Yeah, it
I
needs-
thought you were wrong, and I apologize. I just forwarded it to you.
Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Mike. Yep.
And that is all I got.
Motion to adjourn?
Motion second, right? Motion?
Can you do one and two?
All in favor? People watching, it's good.
I'm gonna let you go now, I missed it.
People
I had so much I wanted to say. I couldn't.
These are great.
Oh, I know,
And I was thinking,
this is one of my big things.